Welcome to Pittsburgh Glass Center. My name is Sharvin. I'm the studio technician here, and I'm happy to present a show that I've curated for our gallery called Silica Valley. Here at Pittsburgh Glass Center, we offer classes ranging from 20-minute experiences up to multi-week experiences. We offer free demonstrations to the public, workshops, events, shows like Silica Valley here, and a whole bunch of other events ranging throughout the year. The show Silica Valley, I wanted to showcase art and technology in the current form right now, and all these artists here use technology in kind of a hidden way in their artwork. It's not prevalent, it's not a computer screen, it's not this bright, shiny object with lights and wires into it. They use technology that is paramount to their process to create their artwork. It's just another tool in their tool bag to create their work. I want to go through some of the artists that we have here in the show with you guys today and showcase some of their artwork and go over some of the process and hopefully answer any questions that you guys might have on the process and content of their art. This artist is He does everything from glass casting to glass blowing and uses digital technology in all aspects of his work. In Norwood's work, manufacturing cities, he uses population density and data to create these forms that range, that track the population of a given city, like Pittsburgh here, from 1760 all the way up to current. In this work, the population densities are tracked over a time period, and using 3D modeling technology, he graphed the population data on a 3D modeling software and created these volumetric forms from the data of the cities. In Norwood's work, planned industrial community, Lowell, Massachusetts, he uses LiDAR data, which is a type of laser detection radar system that plots geographical landpoints. And with that data, he created this 3D model and then 3D printed it using a plastic 3D printer that kind of goes and prints out a layer at a time of the community. Once you got that plastic three-dimensional model of the city, he then created a glass casting from that using the process known as lost wax casting. The process of lost wax casting is a common glass casting technique or casting process in the art world as well. So this is a plastic printed model done with a 3D printer that you create using 3D modeling software. Once your 3D printer prints this off, you then can create a rubber negative of it. You pour the rubber around this mold, and then you remove the plastic, and then you're left with a rubber negative of your mold. Once you have your rubber negative, then you can pour wax into it to create a wax positive. Once you have your wax positive, then you can then create a plaster silica mold of it. And the reason we use plaster silica is because it can withstand really high temperatures in the kiln. Once we have our plaster silica mold, we melt the wax out of it, so we have a plaster silica negative of our original. Then we fill that up with glass, put it in the kiln, and heat it up to about 1600 degrees Fahrenheit. And once it comes out of the kiln, we remove the mold material and end up with our glass positive. The artist couple, Jenna Maroney and Jenna are an artist duo that works with technology and glass as well in a different way that some of the other artists here do. They like to explore the interaction between humans and the glass and technology to create energy with light and sound. Using 3D printed technologies and traditional glass blowing techniques, they're able to make these glass capsules, these shakers, with 3D printed technology inside of it. And then when you shake it, it's able to create this kinetic energy that creates and emits light. From that light, they then created these time-lapse exposure photos that created these light paintings. Fred Carpenter is one of the newer glass artists here. He's only been working in glass for about 5 years. He wanted to explore the use of technology in glass using 3D modeling software. And what he's come up with is using CNC carved graphite to create these glass objects. The intent of this work is to have light shine through it to create a meditative experience. These all represent a different chakra or energy chakra of the human. Using CNC carved graphite, the process that Fred makes these is he pours glass into that graphite mold and then picks all those pieces back up in the hot shop and assembles them all hot. So they're all individual components that are then put together. These things are heavy. Using a CNC mill, graphite is carved using what we call an end mill that spins at about 10,000 RPM and carves out our three-dimensional profile that we want of the graphite. Once the graphite is carved out, glass is then poured into it, molten, and then removed to create our glass positive. Brandon Callahan and P-Rex Soon are collaborative artists that have combined glass and ceramics together. Brandon has a background with traditional glass blowing, while P-Rex has a background in ceramics and architecture. Using 3D printing ceramics, they created these bottom base forms of the work and then blew the glass into that form. One challenge that they have faced on this is the compatibility between glass and ceramics. They both cool at different rates, meaning that as they cool, they shrink at different rates. So finding a clay body that can shrink and be compatible with the glass has been a very big challenge that they have faced. Joe Michell is a glass artist working in the United Kingdom, working mostly, primarily with float glass and water jet technology. Her work is interested in connection and isolation, the duality of empathy and disconnect inherent in human conditions. Using water jet technology, she creates these human forms out of sheet glass and then puts them in a kiln and heats them up to about 1400 degrees Fahrenheit. Those empty voids then trap air inside of the glass to create these bubble entrapments. Jo's work uses air as its main medium to create the work, and the glass is more of a window or vessel for that air to live in. Daniel Petrone is a glass artist working out of Philadelphia, and he uses everything from CNC carving techniques to glass blowing, glass casting, and a whole other slew of techniques. Dan's work also likes to explore different viewpoints to view the work at. You're going to get a very different viewpoint looking through this lens down at the mountain tops rather than coming over here. Using geographical survey data, Daniel creates his mountains with these data points to create an exact replica, just very small, of a very, very large mountain. Dan uses CNC technology to create his glass mountains. First, they are carved out of graphite using the CNC router, and then molten glass is poured into those molds to create the glass puzzle. Vanessa Cutler is another UK-based artist, also using water jet technology, but in a completely different way than the other artist that we saw earlier today. Her work likes to explore how far you can push the boundaries of the machine and the human interaction with that machine. In Vanessa's work, Chitter Chatter, she's collected handwriting samples from all over the world of different artists and companies she's worked with. This handwriting is then translated into machine knowledge so that the water jet can then cut the handwritten notes in glass. In these pieces of Vanessa, the technology used is called 5-axis water jet cutting. This technology was originally developed for the aerospace industry, which Vanessa has also worked in over the years. Now, what 5-axis water jet cutting means is that the water jet machine doesn't just trace on a 2-dimensional surface. The actual water jet can cut in all axes, allowing you to cut these fins and blades into the glass, almost like the propeller of a jet turbine.